Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Disclaimer. More FM Limited, its owners and associates, accepts no responsibility for statements made by the talk show hosts or their guests. More FM Limited does not endorse any of the information provided during this commercially booked segment as the truth. That you have to judge for yourself. We, however, reserve the right to question statements made. But in this time of misinformation, government-controlled media, and corruption, it is sometimes hard to get the truth, but we must try. It is not our intention to discriminate or annoy anyone. We believe it is our constitutional right to free speech, to voice our opinion, and our duty to the population and country to expose the truth. More FM Limited takes no responsibility for the opinions of others.
The Ground Report, the Ground Report.
The government of Trinidad and Tobago is not closing down Petrotrin.
The Ground Report, the Ground Report.
I would think that they've been very clear that all the employees of Petrotrin will exit the company. All.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Never know how time until we see me granny cut the toothpaste too. Where we are gonna do? I really want to know what we are gonna do. Spend a bag of money on school fee, but the in no pass. Where we are gonna do? Not nice. Where we are gonna do? We suffering is
stand your ground. Push back.
What way we are gonna do? Get on you, what we are gonna do? We work hard all week and the money when we make up is send we back at work. Where we are gonna do? Society where we are gonna do? Well I know, no for we there just some suffer long time, but we never give up, yeah we never stop trying. Now we living in a very last time, dark and I'm dark, I'm dying. Don't say that system you set away, and nobody no cater fi none away. And we pass every house and care, but at the prison and the earth them set the way. We suffering every day, cause life so messed up, me brother. What do we have to do? Get on you, what we have to do? We work hard all week and the money when we make up, we send we back at work. What we have to do? Society, what we have to do? Mount that time and me priest if you run away. Let us up and go somewhere far away. But the only reason that me no left yet, I show me not no way because some might as well be start. But me if you wonder what we are gonna do, government tell me what we are gonna do. We want one easy but what have we do? We suffering every day, cause life so messed up, me brother. What do we are gonna do? Get on you, what we are gonna do? We work hard all week and the money when we make up we send we back at work. Where we are gonna do? Society where we are gonna do?
Oh boy.
I really want to know what we are gonna do.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago.
Spend a bag of money on school fee.
Yes, time check.
It me no pass.
It's about 29 minutes past the hour of 6 o'clock.
That's where we are gonna do.
And you listen to the Ground Report. Yours truly, the pitbull of radio, Lennox Smith.
My life so messed up, me brother.
Director Cuff in studio.
Where we are gonna do? We work hard all week and the money where we make up is send we
I'm
back.
gonna say a pleasant good morning to all maxi taxi drivers, PH drivers, bus drivers, truckers. Good morning to you. To all senior citizens, a pleasant good morning to you. To the physically challenged disabled people, a pleasant good morning to you. Not forgetting our sister Isle Tobago. Yes.
Nobody no cater fi no way and
good morning to you, Tobago. To all loyal listeners, callers, well-wishers, listeners, supporters. Cannot forget the haters. Most importantly to all stakeholders, a pleasant good morning to you. On this day, Tuesday, April the 5th, 2002. 2022. So we will say 2022. We will say, let me say a pleasant good morning to those of you that look on to us live on 104.7 more FM. A pleasant good morning to each and every one of you in your homes, in your vehicles, all over. Good morning to you. Not forgetting those of you that are look on to us live on Real Media TT. Yes, Real Media TT Facebook, Real Media TT on YouTube, RealMediaTT.com. A pleasant good morning to each and every one of you. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, yes.
See me granny cut the toothpaste too. Where we are gonna do? Real want to know we are gonna do. Spend a bag of money pan school fee. What a thing if you pick me no pass. Where we are gonna do? Not nice. Where we are gonna do? We suffering every day. Call.
Yeah, but it's you to deal with today.
Where we are gonna do?
Dealing with
get on you. Where we are gonna do?
owners of land. That you know is either they leave the land abandoned or they leave bush. But you know some people so wicked they have trees planted in the land but they have it planted by the bung. But the trees and them just close to the bungs. The bung, your house might be there. And yet still whether it be coconut it falling across on your side. If it is, let me see have a roof. Every night you might be sleeping. The neighbor coconut falling on your roof, right in their hand over your bung. The neighbor Pumarak falling on your roof, staying on your roof, rotting in your roof. And the damn neighbor them wouldn't self-organize and trim the tree, keep on their side and their side. And then now is why you a person know how to organize to fit the bill, the cost, to trim people tree from going across into their property and distressing them. Makes no sense at all.
We work hard all week and the money when we make up we send we back to work. Where we are gonna do? Society where we are gonna do? Never know how time until they see me granny cut the toothpaste too. Where we are gonna do? I really want to know where we are gonna do. Spend a bag of money pan school fee. What a thing if you pick me no pass. Where we are gonna do? Not nice. Where we are gonna do? We suffering every day. Call life so messed up, me brother. But where we are gonna do? Get on you. Where we are gonna do?
Oh boy, a pleasant good morning to you.
Good morning, Andy.
Good morning to you. What's the issue? And I will organize and I'll put up the pictures and them soon. What the issue that you face within your area or your home? Or talk to the people. What is the issue you facing?
Good morning, Andy. Good morning, Andy, Cuff, and Lennox, Mike DK. We have two Pomeroy tree on the other side of our land, but it's a ravine separating the both land. And it's every 4 years now my brother-in-law put them in court, and he never showed up in court. And that come and it is the case never went on again after that.
Because he never get the summons. He never get the summons.
And that I don't know. I really don't know. But the Pomeroy tree, one lean on the both tree are really big. One lean close to my home, to my roof right now, and whole night Pomeroy is be falling on that tree, on the roof, on the three houses. Pomeroy right through falling, and he's not doing nothing about it. He cut down half of the branch fall and damaged my roof, pull down my fence and everything, and he never do anything about it.
Right. He is who? What's his name?
Andy Haru.
What name?
Andy Haru.
Andy Haru, that's a nice name, man. Andy Haru. Right. You have a number we could send for him for? Or anybody, you're going to communicate with anybody to get a number for him?
No. Right now, no one do not have anything to do with that particular person in our community.
Oh, wow.
The whole land, it's fenced wrong, but he pushed the fencing straight down to the ravine, and the trees is close to the ravine, close to our home. Even if it's separate.
All right. Lennox Smith. Lennox Smith, a pleasant good morning to you. Let's not let Lennox come in there, because if it is, you all send out someone, you know, if you get it just going on and on, or they just can't go and cut down nobody tree in the land.
Yes, we know that.
Can't do that, so it must be that it must have other route. It must have other route. So what? You go ahead. By the time I communicate with Lennox Smith, good morning to you. Go ahead by the time.
The both trees is close to each other. It have coconut trees, it have mango tree, it have the two Pomeroy tree, but the two Pomeroy tree more close to our home.
And that just falling on all the roof, bad up in there. Yes. And right now, one of the tree is laden with Pomeroy on it, and the other tree just all the Pomeroy done fell off on the other side of the roof already. It's two massive tree. So, what if they send somebody to clean up that tree, as in get all the Pomeroy, go to the market, sell it, get the money to fix back all the roof, or
you cannot go in his land. You just cannot go in his land. He put cameras right away around on the land.
So you have money for camera and everything, but you have money to chop a tree from distressing people.
That's right. That's how the cookie crumbles.
All right. Listen, as I get in contact with Lennox Smith, I was hoping Lennox Smith would have been able to give you. You went to the board, the corporation.
We went to the corporation. Yes, we did. We went to A&A around the Savannah opposite the stadium. Not the stadium, the Oval. And they gave us a number. When we called yesterday, when we called yesterday, the girl said that them cannot do anything. The corporation have to do it. And we went to the corporation. The corporation said we have to get a letter from our MP, not the corporation. The AA tell us we have to get a letter from our MP to send it to him. And it's how people have to run around. Since about 4 years now, we're running around. And nothing has been done.
I think the redress of tall walls or land interfering with others, I think that fall under the corporation. So why would they tell you to go to the MP? The corporation tell you go to the MP. The MP is what?
No, the corporation didn't tell us to go to the MP. The A&A tell us to go to the MP to get a letter. So we take down all the notes and everything.
Right, and who is A&A?
It's for Trinidad and Tobago. Let me see. My brother-in-law have the information because both of us went yesterday, and we did make a report about it.
Wow,
So
wow.
I'm putting him onto the phone right now. I'm putting him onto the phone right now so he can tell you about it. Hold on.
Yes. Let me explain to us all the routes that he takes, so we will know if he take all routes and what is his redress, and that will fall in the garden of many other landlords or owners of properties that being distressed with people that have their
Okay.
property. Yes, give us an idea exactly what's going on.
Yeah. Okay. First I went to Morva police station. I made a report, but the officer told me there's nothing they could do about it, right? But they will come and talk to him. They did come and talk to him on a Friday. That he can have a Friday, right? The Saturday he called us and say, the fella say he will cut down the tree. Lo and behold, nothing was done, right? I went up to Sawa, he told me Sawa Regional Corporation is the people who they see about it. I went up there and it's about 4 or 5 times, right? They said at the beginning they said they will come and take pictures and issue my letter. The last time I went there, that was this week, the Monday. Yeah, I went there. They say it out of their hand. They can't do anything concerning that. The people, EMA is the people who will see about it.
Yeah, but then what they can do? All right. So is it that there is nobody, all right, and for all homeowners, landowners that going through distress based on whether it be abandoned properties next to yours, or whether it be it not abandoned but it have trees growing across into your place and dirtying your place, or mashing up your roof, or however it go, all of this stems in each and every one of you fellow Trinbagonians out there that may be going through the same problem, and we have to know if it is people have any rights at all when it coming to those type of infringements. I believe that it's an infringement, because it's wrong that a man a tree, pomerac tree, Lego in a set up pomerac come top of my roof, while that going on, it drying there, it rolling off. We talking if I gutter going down in my gutter, it that's just stressing me. And in order, and I know want to be putting out money, because let me say I'm not the type that climb up on a roof, or maybe let me say as a senior citizen, what that owner want them to do, go on the roof, because rainy season coming in just now, and organize and what, shovel off their roof, clean back the gutter, and all these different things from a tree that don't belong to them. And it could go besides a pomerac tree, it could go with coconut tree, it could go with all kind of different issues when it comes to land and owners of land that do business about their neighbors, do business about other people, and in their book, hey, this in my land, they in my land, and nobody could do me nothing because it's in my land mean thing. But your tree going out to other people's land and distressing people, and that's wrong. So, well, I didn't get onto Lennox, but I understand you're saying that when I do get onto Lennox Smith. But finish quick, tell me what other process you went, where you reached. Continue from where you reached, continue from all where you did. So don't the callers might be able to advise what else next, or what could be done, because maybe you have people that went through the same thing that you go through and get their redress, or know how we could get your redress. Go ahead.
Okay. Yesterday we went to EMA. EMA told us, well, we cannot see them in the office, so we call them online, or because they give us a security, right? When we reach up now, we call them. A girl in the office, one they call Natasha, who answered the phone, okay, and she told us it's nothing they could do about it.
Right, because the EMA
is out of the hand.
Yeah, that is all. I'm not seeing the EMA in that, but go ahead.
Well, okay, she said the regional corporation is the people who are responsible for that. I told her it's 4 or 5 times I went up there
What is the regional corporation? What is the regional corporation involved?
Sawa Laventille Regional Corporation.
Right, and that's a corporation that is controlled by the present government. The area,
yes.
The MP is who for that? Not the MP, but the councillor for that area is who? For the area in which this distress is going on.
I really don't know the councillor because the only time you see them is for election time. I really know the name of the councillor.
All right. I wonder how you'll get that. What area live you? Are to try to get in contact with the councillor?
Well, we live in Malik.
Malik.
7th Avenue, Malik.
Oh,
yeah.
That Malik. Well, Malik
yeah,
is
Malik.
Well, that councillor will
be Malik.
Yeah, well, that councillor will be a PNM councillor. Yes. And if it is he or she heart for the purchases of Malik and environs, in who he or she get voted in and supposed to be representing the people of Malik and environs. So it's where that councillor heart is at this point in time, and if they're willing to, because they could, the cooperation itself could put the pressure on the individual to handle. And what will go on, what I think that's going on with a case that I think I remember about is that if the corporation send anybody to do it or they do it, send that the person had to pay back the fees in which it get done. Fit the fees in what get done or something so.
Well, this is how I know it, because I just listening very attentively to all these calling program, and on Crime Watch, well, you know, the senior superintendent, he said that the corporation is the one responsible. They will come and they will talk to the owner. The owner gets a hold of the owner. If the owner doesn't do it, they will send a crew, clean it up and bill them. And if they're not paying, they put the property up for sale. But it seems like nobody is doing anything. And it's not only the Pomeroy alone falling, it's a danger to the house. If that Pomeroy tree should drop and break, it mashing up my 2 houses. Plus that one on the eastern side of my sister-in-law, right? It will mash up her house and the quarter she built to the back. And lo and behold, a big lassinet tree.
Yeah, I see the tree. That tree real big. If that fall, that and it lean over the house and everything. If that fall, that mashing up the house and everything. That's a big tree, boy. I see the pictures. I see
it's a big Pomeroy tree, and there's no way I could get access to it. You understand? Because I don't want to go the violent route. You understand? Because I 72 years of age, and there's advantage taking place.
Wow. Well, all right. Thanks very much. I will get in contact with Lennox Smith, and let me see what you have to do. Try to find out who is the councillor for the area. I need to get the councillor for that area, Malik area. I will give them a call if I can get that to me today and send it. Let me see if I can get the councillor for the area.
Kwesi.
But that is the Kwesi way Anderson Wilson always cussing this Kwesi. I wonder if Anderson Wilson has Kwesi number. The name is Kwesi. Anderson Wilson.
Yes.
Send me Kwesi number now. You always cussing Kwesi and Hines. This Kwesi. Right? I want Kwesi number. Let me find out about that. And you all did went to the corporation, as you say, and make a formal report.
Yeah, went to the corporation. Our regional corporation is about 5-6 times I went up there.
But did you ever talk to your councillor Kwesi? Because is he supposed to be pressing the buttons?
I gotta find out now that is the name of the councillor. I don't see him and I don't even know where the office is.
Wow. Well, all right. So let's try to get the number for Kwesi, the councillor for that area. Right, you give me the full name of the area, Malik, what. However, just send it to me.
Number.
No. The council area now. You know, go Malik Upper Board Street, councillor for that area, or Malik Sawa, right?
It's upper 7th Avenue.
Right, but what is the district?
Electoral district.
The electoral district. The electoral district that Kwesi controls. Alright, we will find out. Lennox Smith will just go up on the computer, find out what 7th Avenue, Malik Barataria, Lennox Smith. Let me try to see, you could do your thing, go up on the computer, find out Kwesi councillor, and we will do that. Alright.
No problem.
Lennox Smith, well, while they're done already, gone at this point in time, many people in Trinidad and Tobago are going through things such as that, whereby they can't get redress when it coming to owners, landowners, or property owners that live close to them, around them, however it go, whether it be they leave it up in bush and a house abandoned, get up in bush and banditry or pipers and things flocking the place, or they leave it unattended and is people going in there now because they may leave food trees, however, and it just attracting all the negative elements right next to you, including rats and snakes and all the negative elements, including 2 trees growing up, throwing things across in your place, and all those different things. Who is really the people that's supposed to address a situation like that, Lennox Smith?
Well, clearly, we are, or you are, or the gentleman is on the right course. Those matters are really dealt with by the regional corporations, and of course, as you know, the regional corporations are divided into districts, and he's on the right course by attempting to find out who is the elected representative, that is to say the councillor, in order, of course, to carry the campaigns firstly there, and then of course he can write directly to the corporation as well, and it will look at the matter as a collective, and these matters of course come up at their statutory meetings and so on. Once you push far enough and is committed and determined, of course, to get resolution. So that is the first step I would make if I was him. So therefore, he's on the right path. If you want help with making it happen, well, of course, you know what to tell him.
Nice. And then at the 7 o'clock, in the 7 o'clock hour, we have an interview with Nafisa Mohammed dealing with the issue of our citizens that are stuck in the next man's land, and is like
that Syria camp coming out from the ISIS experience. Yeah, it's sad.
Wow. So we will deal with all of that. Well,
children are involved here, and I mean, and once that is Trinidad and Tobago children, and I think I am not satisfied that the authorities are doing all that they can in order to rectify that situation.
These authorities here will do all they can when it coming to...
Yeah, I think they are ignoring this situation. But of course, I leave it up to Afisa, because I think she has been working on this for some time. Very concerned, I suppose, as a mother, as a woman, and as a Muslim as well, because she's part and parcel of that community. And now that we are in the month of Ramadan, I suppose that may be more focused and intensified. But certainly, citizens of Trinidad and Tobago must not be left to fend for themselves in next man's land, regardless of the circumstance, particularly where they had no choice, because these are children, therefore they had no choice. Parents would have taken them wherever, and one expects that the government will do what is required to get them back into the country, having regard to the special circumstances that transpired there in the Middle East and in Syria, and of course coming out of the ISIS experience.
Wow.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad.
All right. Well, what we're gonna do meanwhile? Opening lines. It's 7 minutes to the hour of 7 o'clock. Yes, what's on your front burner this morning? Let's see if we can get at least 5-10 minutes of you, the callers in your numbers. Oh dear. Morning caller, your access phrase, and what's on your front burner this morning?
Hello, morning.
Good morning.
Support here, boys.
Good morning to you.
Hear what happened. The first thing concerning that land, you have to find out who is the godfather or the owner of the land. Them fellas, if you instead of they assist the people in getting rid of the problem, they prefer to spend a few dollars and bribe somebody to hush them out. I passed through that right by me, next door to me in Plano. I bring them people to live. And they had trees, they plant up trees, they ain't clean the place. On the other side, the trees under was in the road, the son buy a new van. When he passing, the trees rubbing on the van. But what he did, he take photographs of the trees and then in the road and he cut all. The woman bring the police. And when the son show the police what happening, the police tell them do what they have to do. And on my side, I just had to cut every year cut branches. The people ain't cleaning the place at all.
Wow. Morning caller. Access Raceway calling from. What's on your front burner? The number 1 program, the Ground Report this morning.
And we have so much of front burners there.
Yes.
Good morning, everyone. Pushback 4 on the 16th. And we all will be there.
Yes.
Everyone talking about it, Andy. Andy, I'm sending number for you already.
Oh, you're sending number for
me? My counselor down here for our area. You will see the other counselor down here. So I called the counselor for Lavender West. And I have the number here. Also to Miss Malik. I will get some beat-up fellas. I don't put it in my mouth at all. What the corporation will do is send the engineer. And the engineers then will warn them, cut it down. And sometimes they pay the engineers no mind. I said, don't do it. Sometimes the engineers bring the police and workers and they do it for themselves. So that is the way forward. And I will get it done for you all. I will get it done before the corporation. I will visit these people not today, or even this evening. And anybody who crazy number who get in trouble in that area, his number is 759-1113 1113 759. Andy,
Chrissy, is for Malik?
Yeah, for Malik.
And he's representing all area as well?
No.
Oh.
I call the counselor.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so who's the counselor for the Malik area?
The same fella, the same crazy fella.
Crazy?
And who's for Bitam?
Our counselor, Aki Lauren.
Aki, right. You're right.
Oh yes, Aki Lauren is the next name we call him. So the crazy number is
similar name, that's why I was a bit confused. Alright.
So the crazy
thanks very much and for that clarification.
What's the crazy number? 759. Yeah.
1113.
1113. Alright. Hold on.
Andy, I'm going to show something to Andy.
Yeah.
With children, I went over to him to school and said, don't get them nothing. And but they can't call the children or anybody children. My number is 265-3846. Dr. Munilal, good morning to Dr. Munilal, Senator Lida, Damien, and Roberts, which already in anticipation give some booklets too. Dr. Munilal will give some to him. I still have some more booklets here, Andy. What's the Jew cannot get some? I want anybody who want to help send a child to school. We had asked them for money. All my number for me, please, because I still have a lot of booklets, man. I mean, people that talk booklets from. It's those who lost the work or they didn't take the vaccination. It's those who are father, the soldier man who died in the community. He was single parent. The little boy mother live outside. Now, the village raising that little boy now. I have this booklet too as well. So there are a lot of booklets on man. Anybody want to take a booklet to help a child with a school uniform, sneakers, in a 2 shirt, 2 pants, a school bag, and the books for work. Call my number 265-3846. You have a lot of children. It's right this one career up here. Changing a Brazilian weed every day. Calling up she lips and she cheeks. The education minister children are unable to go to school since this pandemic. And this is a serious issue. There are a lot of serious issues. And we need the children to go back out to school. So we started early, within the 2 weeks in anticipation. There are a lot of booklets to have.
Thank you Thank you very much.
Andy, I think it is very important that we recognize the efforts of people like Anderson particular for that area there. That is an enclave where is a den, of course, of poverty and all kinds of social issues, and people like Anderson taking their time without money, without payment, and doing what they are doing and using opportunities such as this. I think we must sometime in the future, if not immediately, well, this is one of them, recognize people like him, because he has been consistent, he has been committed, and I think there can be no reward can be valuable enough to give people like these in spite of the circumstance. I personally say to you, Anderson, well done, continue the good work. I myself is engaged in similar work, but of course more outside. But you are focused on the Beetham, and I think that is patriotic, and it is tremendous.
Very good, very good.
Should come.
Marcus,
for persons like him.
Marcus is saying them ghetto girls love the bundles. Well, he laughing this morning. Seeing Cam Ali is saying, well, Anderson carry the book list to the PNM government.
But you're going to get those kinds of responses, which is also fair. But you have to commend people like him for, in spite of the challenges, taking up that chance. Because the same thing is said about me, but I will continue to persevere.
Yes. Oh boy, all of the lines are open. Let me take a few more calls. Yes. We'll give you the numbers. What's your front burner this morning on the number 1 program, The Ground Report, right here on 104.7 More FM this morning. The numbers are called 229-0251, 229-0251, yes, or 239-5120. 239-5920. Or WhatsApp calls only to 366-3053, 366-3053. Oh boy, I also see that a boat turnover, little Smith.
Yeah, Vincentian boat, in some of the brokers there, overloaded, they said, and it turned over. I think only 2 survivors from the crew has been rescued, and I think they're waiting to bring it into more shallow waters or more maneuverable water so that they can get inside, divers that is, to see whether or not they're still persons trapped inside there, obviously drowned.
Wow. So that people like this be like under the boat or something, they're chilling out and thing out?
Well, if it turn over, it means therefore that they're inside the boat, but it's just that they can't come out because the bottom go be on top.
Right, but remember, go have that air pocket space in the top there. So how long do it take? Would they do like the drilling with like the pipeline?
It could be that they might have been able to be surviving some.
It could be that they remember the boat now turn over. Let me say the boat now turn over. For you,
they might be able to survive in the air pocket.
But again, it boils down to how long. Remember, Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah. It's not a working country anymore. We are a failed state, and that turnover, if it go, did any divers one time as they get the SOS and that actually go in?
The water was so rough that
What is so rough? If they go out there and they organize and they put a boat there, and they have divers and it's supposed to be trained people. All right. If it was not Trinidad and Tobago, and we say it was United States of America or Canada, would it take days for anybody in whatever water it may be?
Regardless of the condition, you will have that, but it's just like the police officer who don't want to get shot, so you wait until all the fire power is completed, and then put on a siren and move in because all the gunshots and so on has been subsided.
Wow.
Yeah, by that time, of course, several people could die. People could lose, of course, their possessions and all of that, and then, of course, they come in
because the boat floated in the boat floated in the water.
You see, I am saying so because I'm being, of course, facetious as well and sarcastic because I mean that occurred. Frankly, that is my impression I got of the sailors not saving those 4 fellows' lives that it turned out to be that they would have been in some air pocket, and that would have given them some more time to be alive. And if they had taken action at the time, and I don't think there was rough water then, but them simply believe that they want to save their own lives rather than, of course, saving lives for which they are being paid.
Wow. Let's see that video, Cuff.
In an update on Monday, the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard said with regard to the MV First Chance, which overturned 5 nautical miles north of Monos Island in Trinidad and Tobago's waters on Saturday, that the search and rescue or SAR operation that ensued attempted to tow the vessel into shallower and calmer waters. However, the Coast Guard said that due to the size and weight of the vessel, these attempts proved unsuccessful, and consequently, the vessel drifted some distance into Venezuelan waters. On Sunday, the Coast Guard said First Chance had a 7-member crew and that 2 of them were rescued by a passing boat on Saturday and taken to Stobbles Bay, where they were medically examined. They are said to be in good condition. The rescued men have been identified as Jonel McIntosh of Grenada and Daryl Small of St. Vincent. On Monday, the Coast Guard said it has ensured that the Fair Chance, which bore the flag of St. Vincent and the Grenadines when it overturned, continues to be monitored in case any of the missing persons that may have been trapped on board is able to find a way out of the vessel, and also as a safety precaution to prevent other vessels from colliding with it. The Coast Guard further said in reference to the 5 remaining crew members that up to the time it issued its latest update on Monday afternoon, none of the missing persons have been seen or detected. The Coast Guard said the drift of the First Chance into Venezuelan waters has caused the Coast Guard to establish and maintain liaison with Venezuelan authorities to facilitate the presence of a Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard vessel alongside Fair Chance. TV6 News sought clarification from Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Minister Dr. Amory Brown about whether he has been in contact with the Foreign Affairs Ministry of Venezuela. Minister Brown told TV6 News that the Coast Guard has been in direct operational contact with their counterpart in Venezuela on this matter, and that as Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, he has been treating with communication with the Ministers of Foreign Affairs of St. Vincent and Grenadines and Grenada, and has been providing them with daily updates as information comes to hand from the Ministry of National Security. The Coast Guard said that on Sunday, the owners of the vessel, with the assistance of the Coast Guard, were able to arrange a tugboat which made its way into Venezuelan waters and rendezvoused with the Coast Guard vessel, which was on watch with Fair Chance. The Coast Guard said that at approximately 4 p.m. on Sunday, the tugboat began slowly and carefully towing the Fair Chance back into Trinidad and Tobago waters, but that the operation is challenging and taking some time because the vessel is partially submerged whilst being upside down. Sea conditions are rough, and the direction of the tow is against the predominantly western current. The Coast Guard said the intent is to take the vessel into calmer and shallower waters in the Gulf of Paria so that divers can commence searches inside. Jules Brown, TV6 News.
Jules Brown.
Well, nothing different to what we at the time was speculating without confirmation, but this has confirmed what we were thinking.
Yeah, well, all I see in there really is plenty lip service. As I'm in contact with this, it drifting that, it this, it that, and at the end of the day, it could have people that are in the boat there, maybe still surviving, just like the 4 people that died and were surviving in the pipes for a while with the air, with the oxygen within their pipes, It could have people in that boat that drifting that we just pussyfooting with the government, our country. They could be living, and it's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
They could end up just meeting them dead when they could really and truly get them. And in a first world country, and not even in a first world country, in a third world country that is run better than our own, all that set of talk. You get more talk than action, because nothing should be impossible to bring that boat. That boat was already supposed to be in Trinidad and Tobago waters. Divers supposed to go in that boat. Everything in this country is just make it seems so hard, so impossible. So it's like we in this country just looking for the easy way out with everything. We don't want to work for nothing. Abracadabra, the boat should just drift in the water. Abracadabra, or they never put nothing in place with expectations of boat turning over. So it means we never put anything in place with those type of expectations. So when things like that happen, now who fish out of water, hey, let me go and look, hey, who we know boy, to get contract, to do what? And real people, how often do a boat turnover? So it's not an investment, but do we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, have anything to deal with that? You know what that come like? When we supposed to have all the necessaries in order to deal with situations like that boat will turn over with immediate effect, that come no different to the airport of Trinidad and Tobago that's supposed to have a fire station, but none of the equipment in the fire station in the airport, Trinidad and Tobago airport, vehicles ain't working or this or that or wherever they go, and let me say a crash landing and they come in. All the time they know this is working, that ain't working.
You're making a little sense. You're making a little sense, because let's take our minds back to that drowning of those 4 divers. The survivor said that when the Coast Guard came, they didn't have any diving equipment, including, of course, tanks, and the private people had to go and find in order to assist them. And by the time they reached back, and action ought to have been taken now that they were provided with the facility, these equipment, they then say, listen, nobody is to go down to effect a rescue, and they effectively prevented those experienced divers who were prepared to risk their lives, not those who are being paid by us so to do, and the result is what we have today. 4 lives lost, and that could have been saved.
God help us. God help us. Right, so what we want to do is just open the lines. Let's take 2-3 more calls or so while I try to get in contact with Nafisa Mohammed.
Yeah.
To deal with our next situation.
If you have no call, I'm a bit disturbed again about Dr. Rowley and his narratives. He seemed to be changing and shifting the goalposts on every occasion. The last time when he was interviewed, I think by one of the major newspapers, he did say that his job was to, as government, was to make harsh decisions, etc., etc. No reference, as he did in 2015, to the fact that there is a manifesto that was made government policy.
Hold a minute. 1 minute.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, caller.
Go ahead, caller. You are president.
Morning, Andy.
Yes,
Lennox and Mikey K and Goff.
Good morning to you.
Push back for Shoguana's recreation ground on the 16th of this month.
Edinburgh 500 recreation ground.
Yes.
Yeah.
Listen, you know what all you know, no other station can compare with this station 104, because what all you're saying, it educates, most of all, it educates me and my family and other people too. All you're talking the right thing, all you're bringing out the truth in everything, all you're saying. right? All the talking this lady I heard just now talk about the tree, and that is true what she is saying. Because right now, it have a big mango tree in the back, not exactly by my house, but in the back. And the neighbors and them, they just watching that mango tree just growing tall. And the owner, well, he's a kind of old man, right? And the tree, the branches coming over by you, it's coming over by me, going over by the neighborhood and the house. When the mango fall, it's falling, as you say, it's hitting the roof, bam, bam. Mangoes all in the yard when it's falling. And I find that is unfair. It should have an organization. It should have somebody you could go to for the people and them to come as always referring just only to warn these people, because after a time the roots could go beyond beneath your foundation, you know. The roots could mash up your house, and you just can't wait couple years thing. You can't sit down and wait, because that root undermining your foundation. So I think that is a good topic you all have this morning, right? Because it have plenty people experiencing that thing. So I listen, and it's true, this thing going on, right? So the topic is good. Thank you. This is the original Hocketa.
All right, Eugene.
Thank you very much. And she's right. Right now, we have a case for 2 years now, well, almost 2 years in Tanganyika, where a tree is threatening a particular house to fall. And we have made approach to the Tunapuna Regional Corporation, and they would say that they have no cut and saw and a number of equipment deficiency, you know, and at the end of it all, the tree may well fall because of high winds and so on. And then, of course, plunge those burgesses into a lot of unnecessary
aftermath. Where we're going to happen after? Everybody not doing the work, and boom, the tree fall. Then now the family members now had to come on TV and cry. How much are we out of our home? Beg now, could you all bring this, bring that? And they will only rush to deal with the after effect of something that could be avoided at no cost per se. No cost per se. But yet still, our corporations and the purchases of Trinidad and Tobago had to be going through such things, not only in Malik or in Tunapuna, all over in Superior, in Penal, all over Trinidad and Tobago. The purchases of the various corporations have been going through distress with land abandonment. People leaving the land, is rat, is snake, they leaving our house, bush going up, bandits going there, pipers going in there, people tree growing across the people place, and it's all kind of stupidness right through. It's like no redress, none whatsoever. And that's why I'm saying Trinidad and Tobago are a failed state. Nothing working. Nothing. The boat station, it could have people alive there. No diving gone there yet to see if anybody living in the air pockets of that boat that is there at this point in time. They say drift to however. So you telling me a tug, nothing can't come there. Divers go in, see who alive, whether the water rough or not. Right? It have who alive. Come back up or send a message. Yeah, we inside here. All right. Send down a man with 2 survivors here. Then good thing. Send them to oxygen tank. Right? We had the rope. Boy, I could do that work, boy. So the
survivor was saying, and the experience is in that particular instance with those 4 divers, is that they were knocking on the pipe, and of course the song will travel. So they knew that a sign of life is there. It's just that the Coast Guard personnel unequipped and was not prepared, of course, to endanger their own life in order to survive, in order to save another life.
And read what the Coast Guard said there. What the Coast Guard said there, and read at that point in time, is that or they get in trouble doing all their work, I not going to get myself in trouble coming to save all from all their work.
That's exactly what that's all. It's nothing different to the police officer wait until all the gunfire finish and then move in and looking to collect shells and bodies.
Wow. So Trinidad and Tobago. Alright, Cuff, let me see that next one there. Oh boy, let's go. Wait, hold on. Morning caller. Access phrase, where are you calling from?
Yeah, I am Nafisa Mohammed, and I know.
Oh, yes. Oh gosh. All right, Cuff, hold. Hey, Lennox Media, see you, Miss Mohammed is a serious woman when it comes to this country.
Very keen and avid, of course, not only, I'm sure, listener and community activists and legal luminary.
Yes.
Another thing, today, Miss Afiza, I know you, and you know me very well. But good morning to you. We wanted to, of course, contact you on the latest development with respect to those stranded, for want of a better term, in Syria and in those camps. Could you just give us an update as to what's happening there?
Well, let me say a very pleasant good morning to all your listeners out there.
Yes.
I called in because I know you were expecting me to.
At 7. Yes. But we running
the issue.
Yes.
But let me tell you, since 2019, in the early part of 2019, you will recall when there were reports about a Trinidadian mother who was flown across to Syria to rescue her 2 children in a camp in Syria. Those children since came back to our country, and they have been doing very well settled, resettled, and rehabilitated. Well, there wasn't any need for any rehabilitation. They are in school. They are performing extremely well in school. Now, subsequent to that, we would have seen reports coming out from the Middle East about the conflict with this Syrian civil war that was going on. And when the war on terror came to an end, more than 70,000 women and children fled into certain refugee camps in the northeastern part of Syria. I became aware of the situation when I was invited to a meeting of some of the relatives of a couple of those persons from Trinidad who had gone across to the Middle East in earlier years, around 2014, 2015. It is well known in Trinidad that maybe about 130 or 140 citizens had gone across when there was talk of the establishment of an Islamic State. And some persons who had that utopian belief of wanting to live in an Islamic State with the establishment of a caliphate, and so they migrated and went across there. Whatever the push and pull factors are, we have been having these conversations for some time now, but what is rather concerning is that since 2019, when the relatives they wrote letters to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Attorney General, and the Ministry of National Security, seeking help from the government to be able to get travel documents and so to have their children and relatives repatriated, meaning to return them home, to bring them back home. The response from the government in July is in the public domain, where the then Minister of National Security made statements, I think in the Parliament, it's reported in the newspapers, that they needed to do a verification exercise to verify that these are citizens of our country and what have you. At that time, as the correspondence had become known to the public, more affected persons had come forward, and as of today, there is now more accurate information available that there are 74 Trinidadian children and 24 Trinidadian women who are in certain refugee camps in the northeastern part of Syria. And their relatives have been consistently pleading with the government of the day for some assistance in having them repatriated. To begin with, in order to cross borders, you have to have travel documents. These are citizens of our country. And at one point, some of the relatives ended up having to file an action in court. and a judgment was delivered early last year, and the outcome is well known. The parents lost that case, and what is even more unacceptable is the fact that the state, under the Attorney General's direction, would have turned around and asked for these parents and relatives to have to pay the cost of bringing that matter to the court, which is, as a matter of last resort, they turn to the courts for assistance. Now, with that outcome, these relatives continue to plead, and they are asking for assistance. To begin with, what is required is for the government to come forward, come out, and say that they will help. All that is required is travel documents, so that and if the political will is there to repatriate the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, and I'm saying they are citizens of Trinidad and Tobago because the relatives have compiled documents with passport pictures, with relevant, information to prove that they are all citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. From my information, 33 of these children were born over there somewhere around 2015 thereabouts. This movement of Trinidadians to that part of the Middle East has come to a stop since 2016. So that these 33 children would now be probably about 5 or 6 years old. These are innocent children, Andy. These children do not have the capacity to commit a crime, far less to tarnish them and label them as terrorists. We have also compiled data to suggest that more than 56 of these children, well, they will be under the age of 12 years old. And the reality is that they are suffering under inhumane conditions, under atrocious conditions, and being children, they are vulnerable citizens who are in need of protection. And now that, look at it, we are in the holy month of Ramadan, and I know it is not only from the Muslim community that we are talking about. I read recently where there are some other persons who had visited Syria some time ago, and they too are stranded in Syria. And the government seems to be suffering from some kind of inertia, and I am appealing to the authorities. The relatives have signed a document indicating their willingness to collaborate with the authorities. All that is required is the willingness to sit and talk to a couple of the representatives to make this repatriation possible. And these are children and women. And with a collaboration with the law enforcement agencies and with other stakeholders, I know for a fact that there is already a cadre of persons who have been trained. The U.S. Embassy has conducted certain training sessions, and in the event of the repatriation of these citizens, there are programs that are already developed to help in the resettlement and the rehabilitation of these children and women. Now, one of the things that the relatives are advocating for and urging, there is no need for legislation to bring back our citizens home. It is just political will that is required. And these relatives, they are pleading with the authorities, knowing that there is a COVID-19 pandemic still in existence. They are prepared to make arrangements upon their return to be able to have them housed for the relevant quarantine period, and where certain assessments can start, because they have been through a lot of psychological trauma and a lot of physical. Many of these women, I understand, are injured and they are in need of medical help, medical attention. And when the assessment starts, one of the things that we are advocating for is the reunification of these children and women with their families. I have counted at least 10 geographical locations where these women and children come from. Some come from Diego Martin, 1 or 2 from Port of Spain. There's a family from right here in the Barataria area. There's a family from Kelly Village, one from Warrenville, from Londonville, I think Cuba, Claxton Bay, Rio Claro, and Maloney. It's about 10 geographical locations. Now, already we have had discussions within the Muslim community itself. Many have signed a petition in support of the repatriation of these citizens, including the largest Muslim organization in this country. And we have the capacity and the resources to work together with the state to help in the reunification and the rehabilitation of these citizens once they are returned or brought back home. And the logistics of getting these citizens back home will require a dialogue with the administrative authorities that are in control. I understand many of these citizens are now in the Al-Roj camp, which is somewhere in the northeastern part of Syria. And one of the most practical kinds of arrangements, and this is where government assistance is required, because it's a dialogue that can take place. There's a new U.S. commander in charge of all activities in the Middle East. But for some time now, the previous one, General McKenzie, it is reported in a document where he had indicated his willingness to get these women and children out of the camps and take them to wherever the countries require them to be brought, just simply to have them repatriated. All that is required is a little dialogue and collaboration with the U.S. Embassy and its officials there to work towards the repatriation, because countries all over the world have been repatriating their citizens. And once that dialogue gets going, one of the nearest airports, for example, to get these kids and women out might be through Turkey, because we have diplomatic relations with the government of Turkey. And just like how the airport was opened up for the Vice President of Venezuela, Delcy Rodriguez, to land in Piaco in the wee hours of a morning, the government can easily give landing rights to Turkish Airlines. As members of the Muslim community, we are accustomed traveling on Turkish Airlines. For citizens here who have to go and perform the Hajj and the Umrah in Saudi Arabia, part of the travel flight path often involves passing through Turkey, and Turkish Airlines is one of the known airlines that have flights that come directly from Turkey, and the nearest they come to is Panama and Brazil. And we have had pilgrims taking these travel flight paths to get to the Middle East. And what is so difficult to negotiate for a direct flight if an aircraft is identified and a little diplomacy is engaged in to bring them straight to Trinidad, and upon arrival they can be put in quarantine. If law enforcement has any concerns about any of these children and women, about being involved in any nefarious activities, well, sure, they can take relevant or appropriate steps as may be required. We do not need to legislate to repatriate these citizens. And this is a fundamental error, in my view, that was being made when the former Attorney General, Faris Al-Rawi, had produced a nasty and draconian piece of legislation some time ago in January of 2020, on the eve of the 2020 election, to criminalize these children and women. They are citizens of our country, and we have developed legal and judicial systems already in place. We have the ability to deal with these matters. We have a family court and a children court, and we have new child protection laws. In fact, under the Children's Authority Act, which has modernized our legal framework to deal with children and women, that act actually incorporates the Convention on the Rights of the Child in our local laws. And we cannot ignore that. Under the Convention on the Rights of the Child, there's a whole section that deals with displaced persons. These are our citizens who are displaced. They are children. They are in need of protection, not persecution. And what I am concerned about, and I keep speaking out about, is that there seems to be a kind of very Islamophobic and xenophobic approach by this government, and a heartlessness that we need to remedy. I am so pleased and was so encouraged to hear our Prime Minister singing that song, Somebody Touch My Soul, because at least it shows that he is still there and is soulful enough to be, willing to get some proper advice on these matters. Because I think in the first place, from early o'clock, he has been misguided, and I hope and pray that he will be willing to engage in some dialogue with representatives. You know, Andy, let me just say that very recently, I think in March month, I saw a video on Facebook with the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, with a whole cadre of people assembled in the airport in Tel Aviv to welcome a flight that was bringing children out of Ukraine into Israel. And there was so much love and so much compassion and so much heart for these children who have been exposed to warlike conditions. So here it is. These are our children we are talking about. And the kind of feedback that has been obtained from the government to suggest that they have to verify whether these children are our citizens, that is what you call a bahana. It is an excuse for their non-action. And I am asking, please, for this kind of heartlessness to be brought to an end. We are in the holy month of Ramadan. These relatives, the grandparents and other relatives of these children, they are suffering. When they have to eat a meal, how can they enjoy that meal when their own children and grandchildren can't even get food to eat in these camps that they are in? Under horrible conditions, very unhygienic conditions, under very extreme weather conditions. If it's not excessive cold from winter, it is excessive heat from when it's that time of the year. Andy, I am glad to have this opportunity to be able to discuss this on your program. I have been attacked, and the former Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi has twisted around this whole issue as though these relatives want these children as though they are such dangerous people. I am saying that is not the case from my interaction with the relatives. These are our citizens from very humble backgrounds, and there is a need for a more compassionate approach and a reconsideration of the issues to be able to help to bring them back home so that they can be reunited with their families and rehabilitated. So,
and who the buck stops with, because citizens are listening in their thousands, in their maxis, their taxis, who the buck stop with, as in, is it it's of the Prime Minister or is it Amy Brown, so we will know who is the people we need to target to at least get to have a heart.
Before you answer, Afiza, I want to make something clear here. Of course, you referring to the decision of Justice June Charles, right?
Yes.
Right, good. And she did in fact make the law very, very clear that Trinidad and Tobago has no jurisdiction beyond, of course, its own physical border, so to speak. So we are left, of course, with what you rightly started with, the political will, and of course all of the other issues relating to the rights of children and so on in such circumstance. But there are some other nuances that I would want you to consider, and if you have in fact considered one, the financial cost, are there persons willing to assist there? Would I want to, in terms of verification, of course, if there are no board papers, then we're looking at, of course, the DNA and other issues, and then, of course, friendly nations in close proximity to Syria, which you have identified, may well want to, of course, assist in that regard, including, of course, the United States. I just want you to, of course, address that as well, because some people may want to say that is pie in the sky, but it's much more complicated than that. So let's get on to the complexities as well.
Let me say this, because we just had a change of Attorney General in this country. And as an attorney at law, even though a matter is before the court, at any time a matter can be resolved. A matter can be withdrawn from the court. And whatever it is really painful to know. These families had to come up with almost $500,000 to reach to the point of a court matter. And whatever judgment, we have a legal system, a judicial system. I do not wish to comment on the judgment that has been delivered and to interfere with the court proceedings. So I will just move on and to see that what is required is political will. Obviously, the Prime Minister, the buck stops with him. because he's at the head of the National Security Council, he heads the government, and he is a person, I mean, it is just to have access to him, to be able to speak to him. I fell out of grace and I've become persona non grata. But if there's anyone out there who can reach out to him and talk to him and let him know that there are persons willing to sit and talk to help to work out a meaningful resolution to this. On the issue of financial cost, to charter an aircraft to come to Trinidad, you will need is about 94 persons. You need probably, it might be more than $1 million or whatever the cost factors are. And that is a bridge that we can cross at the appropriate time. But you know, Leonard, there is something called diplomacy in the world when countries are building relationships and so. We have an ambassador from Turkey who is based here in Trinidad. And we have a representative in Turkey as well. And this is how governments speak to each other. The president of Turkey is known to be one of the most compassionate leaders in the entire world. President Erdogan. What is difficult in engaging in some dialogue, whether it's between Prime Minister or Prime Minister recently met with the President of Iran? Can there be some diplomacy to talk to the head of Turkey and ask for some help in bringing these children and women back home? We have a Minister of Foreign Affairs. I personally went, since 2020, I had drafted a letter for the Minister of Foreign Affairs. And not too long ago, I actually delivered the package to his office. I know that when those two children who were repatriated from early 2019, when they were brought back home, it was through the International Red Cross that they contacted the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And the Ministry of Foreign Affairs then referred the matter to the Ministry of National Security. So it's a collaboration that is required. And when it became public that these children were going to be brought back through an international NGO called Pink Floyd, it was only then that Minister Stuart Young came out publicly and talked about Team Nightingale, a Team Nightingale. Up to now, from then until now, it has been in the public domain that Team Nightingale has to do a verification exercise. What is the problem? The relatives have compiled a dossier with each of the children and their relatives and relevant travel documents, because you ask about the verification part.
Yes, because you need to verify they are in fact Chinbagonians, born of the Chinbagonian family, and therefore, of course, DNA and all these other things may be a factor. So I just want to make sure that the population understand what is entailed.
What we have understood from the administrative authority that manages those camps, it's a coalition of forces called the Rojava that administer the affairs of those persons in those camps. And they maintain an electronic database. And they have the capacity to sort things out through DNA testing or whatever it is. And already one Trinidadian family has been able to get the results and to comply with what is required. Is just the will to get the travel documents for these persons to be brought out of their home, of their country, and return to our home country. They are citizens. Now, with the 33 children who were born there, it is really ridiculous to hear questions being asked, how can you verify that they are actually citizens? We have dual nationality. You always know who the mother of a child is, not the father necessarily. Isn't that so, Leonard?
Yes. You have a blushing here because you're sort of like him. I want to talk from experience, but go ahead.
Well, oh God. But the point is, if you have these women who are the mothers of these children, and these women are known citizens of our country, what is the rocket science in establishing that these children are citizens of Trinidad and Tobago by descent? That is not rocket science, that's basic common sense.
Yes.
And it is really unfortunate that the state continues to be misled by these bogus arguments being put forward by persons who do not understand the demographics in this society. And when you are trained just in the military or in a military approach, because I would think that the Team Nightingale is headed by the military, but like so many other things in this country that have been going wrong, because you do not understand that there are other components and facets that you have to look at. There's a human rights and humanitarian aspect to this whole issue. These are vulnerable children and women who are in need of protection, and under our existing legal framework, we have an obligation to protect these children and women. And we must get over this thing that everything has to be a military approach. Military people are trained to kill. They don't ask questions. They are trained. Isn't that so?
Yeah, and take orders so to do. Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. And they carry out orders. So who is giving the orders? So that is where we have to get this thing right and get back to the drawing board. I'm making an appeal. Today I am making a passionate appeal.
All right, but what? But Ms. Mohammed, before you make that appeal, because remember, as you say, it's the Muslim, it's the month of Ramadan. You know, listen to this. Go ahead, Kof, and make the appeal to the main man himself. Because if it is, go ahead, Kof. After this, just make the appeal to the main man, please. Anybody that know him, because Ms. Mohammed for out a grace, or anybody for out a grace, that is just how it is be. But the humanitarian thing, the fact is, this is we people out there, and we obligated to do the right thing for our people. Because if it was one of us out there, we would have wanted that help. And we must say, God bless Ms. Mohammed, bless her for picking up on things that no other Trinidad and Tobagonians wouldn't want to take up on, so because, hey, let me forget them. So, in your ending statement, you will give us your closing statement and your appeal after this. Go ahead, Kof.
Somebody touch me, somebody touch me, somebody touch my soul. Somebody touch me, Jesus, somebody touch my soul. Somebody touch me, somebody touch me, somebody touch my soul. While I was praying, touch me, Jesus, somebody touch my soul.
Nice. So somebody touch his soul. You go ahead and play a plea.
And
yeah, make a plea now.
Yeah, I'm sure we all agree that there is one God and Almighty God is in control.
Correct.
And knowing that our Prime Ministers, I have known Dr. Rowley for decades, and the politics, I'm out of it, but at the end of the day, it is in my blood, and I cannot disassociate myself from it. I have always maintained utmost respect and regard for Dr. Rowley. And it is unfortunate what transpired between us since 2018. Somebody fabricated a plot and things went haywire and I fell out of place. But now, at this point in time, I am prepared. This is the holy month of Ramadan. A time for forgiveness, a time for mercy. And I'm pleading to our dear Prime Minister and seeking forgiveness for whatever I may be accused of. But when it comes to standing up for justice and fairness and equity, I am respectfully asking our Prime Minister to please be willing to sit with a couple persons who can put forward the case for the repatriation, the reunification, and the rehabilitation of these 74 children and 24 women from Trinidad and Tobago who are suffering in these refugee camps in the northeastern part of Syria. It cannot be done by the government alone, and I am saying to the authorities that the relatives have signed a document agreeing to collaborate with the authorities and to do whatever is required to ensure that the reunification and the rehabilitation of these persons who are all citizens of our country, that it happens in a smooth way and that there is no threat to national security, and that we need to just simply overcome the Islamophobic kinds of reaction and look at it from a situation where it involves children and women who are vulnerable and who need protection, not persecution. You do not need to legislate to bring back home your citizens. They are citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. And we just need to have the political will to want to bring them back home. And this is my appeal this morning to our Honorable Prime Minister in this holy month of Ramadan, on behalf of all these relatives of these children and women, that to please have the heart and have the soul to want to sit and talk to some of the representatives with a view to bringing about, or at least have some persons designated who can sit and work together with the authorities. I personally developed a repatriation plan with the assistance of experts in the field, including former ambassadors and not former, but clinical psychologists and other experts. And I intend to forward these documents to the Prime Minister's office sometime during the course of this week, with the hope that it will not fall on deaf ears. And having been in government for many years myself and having acquired a certain amount of experience, I know that all that is required is the will to want to repatriate our citizens. It will quell a lot of unease and discomfort in the society.
While you say that, I would love to call on the, as he says, the holy month of Ramadan to all Muslims. It have Muslims out there, you the people in the various community, Muslims in the various community, that may be a friend or know somebody that deals with Mr. Rowley. Well, I know this minister, Kazim Hussein is a Muslim, and it have many powerful, please, any powerful Muslims that it have out there that will be able to at least get this meeting in place with Ms. Nafisha Mohammed and the Prime Minister for me to deal with the repatriation of our citizens that are stuck there in Syria, or children or women. And you know, let me just have the political will. So again, in the holy month of Ramadan, please, to all Muslims, it have real Muslims out there that you all are friends with the godly Prime Minister, and it's just for anybody to just make that connection and hope that you know, that we can get some results with this.
And this can go beyond that. Now that you are, should I say, adequately informed, people and now understand some of the nuances, some of the complexities, but at the end of the day, a lot of work has been done. We went at pains, of course, on this program to give all of the variables that are involved, and it is just a matter, as Nafisa rightly said, political will is now required in order to put all the mechanisms in place for the repatriation and the reassembling and the rehabilitation and all of the other re's that are required in such circumstance. And I want to tell her, I too want to commend you for that level of commitment and dedication, that humane and humanitarian spirit that you have devoted to this whole exercise. It doesn't matter whether you are whether it's Muslim sisters or children or brothers. Islamophobia should have no place there, and certainly xenophobia, I think, is a exaggeration that ought to find no place in this particular scenario, having regard to the fact that all of them are Trinbagonians, proven scientifically and otherwise.
Correct. And Renaud, let me say, I come from a very traditional Sunni moderate Islamic background, and there has been a rise of Islamic fundamentalism in our country. But we are not terrorists. The majority of Muslims in this country are peaceful, law-abiding citizens. We have helped to build this country, and we have a formula that if we repatriate our citizens, it could help the rest of the world to know how to do it. Because what was going on is that the former Attorney General was just slavishly following some of the narrative from certain Western countries and introducing new laws and all sorts of things without studying the nature and extent of the problem in our own society here. because they are inexperienced people who are in the system who have been misleading and misguiding. That is my assessment of the situation. This could easily be resolved, and it's just a little dialogue and collaboration that is required.
You're quite right. We have taken note of that position on the Ground Report as well, because of course all the networks in the United States will give the impression that per capita Trinidad and Tobago has the highest per capita terrorists, and all of that we knew took place. But of course we also know that this country partnered with the United States and Jamaica in the, of course, that resolution, that UN resolution, of course, condemning and with a great degree of force this anti-terrorist resolution that was supported, and therefore that belies what the Western world may be thinking, consequential of the influence that the United States may have, and therefore its population and its media to, of course, signify that countries who they identify in such in such derogatory way really and truly is not the case in reality.
Let me just say that narrative that we are producing the largest number of terrorists per capita is an unfounded statement. We have developed a database. I personally was involved in research with another NGO, a very reputable NGO. We did a survey, we have a questionnaire, and with the responses, and that kind of narrative, it is flawed and it is embarrassing to our country. And we need to put an end. I think it's some university professor, Simon Cote, who is often quoted. And we need to let the powers that be recognize that is not accurate at all. So far, it seems like it's about 135 to 140 citizens who would have traveled somewhere between 2014 and 2016. That movement has ended. And most of the men, from my information, have been killed. They are dead. Those who were starring in videos and all of that, they have all been killed. And it is the women and children who were there under different circumstances, and at the end of the day, they are suffering, and they are citizens of our country. And we need to, really try to collaborate to help to bring some relief and some ease, because they have relatives here who are pleading for the authorities to do the needful. The main thing that is required from the government at this time is that political will, and to issue travel documents, and then arrangements can fall into place to get them out of the camps. It may require some further dialogue with the authorities of the camp, but that is another matter. And if the Minister of Foreign Affairs could rise to the occasion and try to be a little collaborative, a lot can be accomplished.
Yes, indeed. So thank you very much, of course, for enlightening us, because without your tenacity, I don't think the population would have been would not have been as wise as they are now as to how the reality is, and therefore these are citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, children involved, some over 70 children, and we need, of course, to make certain that every citizen find an equal place in Sweet Trinbago. Thank you very much. Of course, you have a immediate closing remark, or you want to just reiterate your plea to the authorities?
We respect the laws of the land. We know that internationally there are laws that or treaties and so that our country would have had to sign on to. But at the end of the day, when you are making laws for your country, you must analyze the nature and extent of the problems and deal with your laws accordingly. In this case, there is no need to pass any laws. We have enough laws, and we have enough legal and judicial systems in place to protect the wider population if there is need for such protection. But these are children and women, and so far I am not aware of any untoward kind of report that these persons have been engaged in any kind of nefarious activity.
Nice. And again, to all Muslims and Christians, everybody in the holy month of Ramadan, so anybody that know the Foreign Affairs Minister or the Prime Minister itself, please I love the fact that this conversation went on for so long in the holy month of Ramadan again, because this is a serious issue. This is the issues that we all need to start to deal with in order to start to even see the change and the mindset of the people of Trinidad and Tobago, that just don't care mentality, or we will just keep going down the unholy way if it is we don't just organize to just find myself like what Miss Fisher is doing. Look at, she don't have to, and look, and all we want is just for people to work with the people that are willing to do the right thing for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Thanks so much. You are a hero, but you are a hero, Miss Mohammed. You are a hero.
Yes.
But you is a hero. I love people so much. You see, we fight for people.
Female is a female and the heroine.
Yeah, heroine, yes, a heroine.
I'm a citizen of this country,
yes.
and we have problems. We need to unite our population and come together, and that is my concern.
Yes. Thanks.
Thank you very much once again. People, of course, I'm sure that you would not have known much of what was discussed today, and it was important for the ground reporter to let you know what the facts are, because a lot of people might have been led by ignorance and just seen it as a serious thing and what they went there for and all of that. But you have seen that it is much more than what is being told to you. Now that you know the facts, I think every single citizen have a duty and responsibility, maybe to write it to the Prime Minister, write to those in authority, asking for our children to be repatriated, having regard to all of the groundwork that was already laid, certifying. That is why I asked her about DNA testing and certifying whether or not somebody may be trying something to escape those camps there and enter the country and not being citizens and have no right here. But of course, you have seen that all of the groundwork has been done, and it's just a matter of the political will, like you said, in order to have them come here.
Will. So please, to all the politicians, please, could you all, in this holy month of Ramadan, please just get the political will to deal with the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago in the right way. Unity.
I expect somebody to take it up in the Parliament as a matter of urgency. One on humanitarian grounds, having regard to the fact that 70 children involved here, quite apart from 22
women, female. How much to our heroine? Is heroine?
Yes, heroine, yes.
Boy, use the big word, man. No fish is here, my big words, this man is used by.
So thanks for having me on your program. It's a great.
Yes, it's a pleasure.
And best wishes.
All right, oh boy. Okay. Yes.
I thought she had gone because I had something to say, because now that she's off, the fact of the matter is that Dr. Rolu will continue to be the kind of individual he is. I trust that he find it in his heart, because as soon as she was talking there, I remembered the situation at the commencement of the lockdowns and the keeping of our citizens outside, and even though Barbados created a stir, and there was some kind of recrimination between the Tobago the Barbadian Attorney General, I believe, or National Security Minister, and our own here, largely because they thought we were inhumane, and they were prepared, of course, to do what is required in order to keep our citizens there until we made arrangements for them to come in, even though the National Security Minister and the Prime Minister were saying stay put wherever you are, and claiming that they were sending money instead, when in fact none of that existed. I trust that in this case that they have a change of mind having regard to the experience and the licks that they would have taken for not doing the right thing for and on behalf of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, for which they have been elected.
Again, the right thing at the end of the day, when it coming to doing the right thing in Trinidad and Tobago, always hard. So Trinidad and Tobago, the lines are open. Let's see so far what are the topics that you all want to raise, because we have to go to our next interview in a little bit. We have to go. We have some things that we have to play, dissect, and then the opposition leader mentioned certain things on the platform UNC Monday night platform last night that ring a bell and that need to be sorted out.
She was brilliant.
Here on the ground report. So Again, the lines are open. The numbers to call 239-5120, 239-5120, 229-0251, 229-0251, or WhatsApp calls only to 366-3053, 366-3053. The lines are open. Morning caller, Access Race, where you calling from? What's your contribution this morning?
I'm calling from the beach. I'm pushback for. And as I said already, everyone is talking about it, Andy.
Yes, yes.
Well, did it. Last night is on people. I don't want to call this rich name too much. So don't study who wants to do meeting with. I know you're listening because only on this program you learn something. These are educated people that be on your program. Remember, the Minister of National Security, this one for you, man. You want to mount a platform to meet some men?
Yeah, the almost every night on the corridor transformation. Yeah.
It's to remaster and remind me that. You're waiting behind the talk. Heinz, you went and meet Sunday them. Now this is a man walking. This is how Children will do, Dr. Munira will do, and the UNC will do. Walk and meet people and hear their cries. Victor Roberts, everybody. Together and the government position, the beater, and 90K and them all the locksmith, all I want to know the people cries. And this is what happens, people are crying out. And showing the ills. Because that is the Isha river is. That river is dirty. Any little flood, any little rain, any little thing. It's chaos. And what are Heinz and them doing about it? You want a program steady working with you, Aisha Welch. I want the world to know the political hustling need to stop. We need to see about the poor. Days are done, Aisha Welch, this political hustling jumping from here today, Aisha Welch. We concerned about poor people.
So correct. We are so concerned when it coming to poor people. Oh boy. Morning caller, Access Phrase. Where you calling from? What's your contribution on the Gong Report this morning? Where we heard Mr. Fisha Mohammed and her concerns, which is a legitimate one. But oh boy. We hope somebody or some will get to the Prime Minister and we develop the political will in order to deal with the situation that is taking place at this point in time. Morning caller.
Good morning, Andy, Ground Report, and everybody.
Yes.
Edinburgh 500, the 16th of April this month, 1 p.m. to push back and to fight all these ills. And now social gathering is unlimited. So let me see where Aisha Wells and will tell which police you call. And anyway, Andy,
she can't call no police. She can't stop the 16th Edinburgh 500. She can't come up with no rhetoric. She can't do one damn thing but to continue listening to the Gong Report and get the report. Yes. We sure and she can't make no bacchanal no more. It's unlimited.
That's right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So now let me rewind. Some years ago, with the falling out with Miss Mohammed. When the Islamic group wanted to go to Mecca and they were stranded in Venezuela. And this Prime Minister we have, that's a show you he heartless. And people are seeing through it. The story of this morning again, he heartless. That is Mugabe. And you see now all this for himself. The only thing that touches soul is Shell Energy Company and BP. Then who touch Shell here and he could not sing because the bank account overflowing. The thief in all the wealth. And to help people, there is not standing up to do it. And there's always something about the law, the constitution, and it's time and time again. Even internally, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, just to help the poorer class and to put programs in place under the constitution, which is guaranteed for us to be taken care of. They're doing. Look how much nastiness he doing with the Islamic people and them. Every time to go to Mecca and to bring them from Venezuela. He come now and he want to be the landlord for all the land to shake up. So Trinidad and Tobago, we have to know, to see what this man is doing He's the Prime Minister, and he just listens to the ground report. So we don't have to write no letter to he. He stays smart with foolishness.
So truth. Oh boy, morning caller, access phrase. Where you calling from?
Yeah, morning ground report, morning Leonard voice, 92. Edinburgh 500, the 16th of April. But I want to thank Ms. Mohammed for what she said there. These 24 children, 74 mothers.
No, 74 children, 22 mothers.
Yeah,
24 mothers, yeah.
Our citizens need to come back to Trinidad by yesterday. Right? By yesterday, we need our citizens back into this country. This is a very serious thing. I didn't know this thing was so serious. We have 3 people in this country who are serving in the government of Trinidad and Tobago who are not born in Trinidad and Tobago. As a matter of fact, one of them was a former Attorney General. His mother is a Trinidadian and his father belonged to the Middle East. And he was a former Attorney General. So our children, our citizens, we need to bring them back into this country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Oh boy. Let's take a few more calls.
So it is clear that the people are now being enlightened, that their eyes are open.
Yes.
You see, because the details that we went into makes it much more amenable. Go ahead, sir.
Go ahead, caller.
Morning, Andy. The 16th of April, Edinburgh 500 be pushing.
Yes, Edinburgh 500 recreation grounds. Yes, sir.
Andy, if that was Imbu's son/daughter, you'd see how fast they'll repatriate him. And if that was Imbu's son/daughter was inside the pipe, you'd see how they'd feel it.
Wow. Next caller, morning caller. Access phrase, where you calling from? What's on your front burner this morning?
Postbox 500. We comment of fuck out your prostitute wife.
Disclaimer. More FM Limited, its owners and associates, accepts no responsibility for statements made by the talk show hosts or their guests. More FM Limited does not endorse any of the information provided during this commercially booked segment as the truth. That you have to judge for yourself. We, however, reserve the right to question statements made. But in this time of misinformation, government-controlled media and corruption, it is sometimes hard to get the truth. But we must try. It is not our intention to discriminate or annoy anyone. We believe it is our constitutional right to free speech to voice our opinion and our duty to the population and country to expose the truth. More FM Limited takes no responsibility for the opinions of others.
Oh boy, we go for a quick break and come back. When we come back, more right here on the Ground Report. We'll be back.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
The Burger Specialist is doing it again. The breakfast menu is now available. Chicken and waffles, wraps, bagels, pancakes, and of course our smashing breakfast burger and so much more. Only at the Burger Specialist. Remember to ask about our signature burgers. Call or WhatsApp 769-9222. That's 769-9222. Located at the intersection of Macoya Road and the Priority Bus Route in Tunapuna. The Burger Specialist. We make breakfast great.
Shiny and Ari Restaurant number 67 Western Main Road, St. James, opposite Standard. For breakfast daily, Monday to Sunday from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. On the menu, sada roti, Friday, roast beef, pie, coffee, tea, Milo, vegetable pizza, pancakes with assorted vegetables. Lunch specials daily from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Chicken pilau, $25. Assorted lunch from $25 to $40. Soup specials and crab and dumpling. Delivery of food available. Dinner a la carte on the pavement from 6 p.m. on until burgers, chicken sandwich, hot dogs, fries and chicken nuggets, strip burger, gyros,
And anything else you can think about.
call 382-9347 to place your orders 7 days a week.
Home is where you can foster new memories, where you can rejuvenate. Home is where love is, a peace of mind. Home is a house with a land to expand. Home is at the serene Bracano Park or the gated sanctuary of Ella Vista Gardens. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, indoor laundry and private parking. Starting at 1.275 million, Home is DG Homes, Sangre Grande, 691-5659, 721-9186 or 379-8990. DG Homes, modern and luxurious living for all.
At Queens Beach Celebrity Resort Spa and Conference Center, we have mastered the luxury of getting away from it all. Guests can enjoy our ultra-premium spa or our canopy lounge, nestled in the Orchid Garden, surrounded by lush tropical sights and sounds of the ocean. Queens Beach Celebrity Resort Spa and Conference Center, your eco-friendly resort oasis, located on the northeastern coast of Trinidad. For reservations, please call 226-1456, front desk or mobile 460-4575 and 370-0501.
Natural boost, ginger and turmeric. Keep away every sickness. Get a bottle of this orange spice. Girl, keep choice in your life. And let me drink up the juice. And let me drink up the thing from the roots. And let me drink up the thing from the fruits. The new juice.
Come home, it's all you need. A little bit of city in the country. Sangre Grande is the place to be. DG Homes gives you luxury. Affordable, brand new. DG Homes come shining through. Step into reality. A home of possibilities. Dreams come true. It could be you. DG Homes, modern, luxurious living for all.
On Sunday, April 17th, Easter Sunday, the More FM family heads to the world-famous Majestic Gardens, Overputch Road, Sangre Grande, Trinidad and Tobago. Get ready for Legends of Dance. Legends of Dance, ultra premium old school event with the More FM 104.7 cast of stars. Doors open at 10 p.m. This Easter Sunday, Majestic Gardens, Overputch Road, Sangre Grande. Everybody's talking about Legends of Dance. This Easter Sunday, Legends of Dance, ultra premium old school event, powered by More FM 104.7, More FM Easter Bonanza. Be there.
Looking to complete your home or private project? Well, the place is Midland Hardware. We carry a large selection of roofing and plumbing supplies, lumber, steel, water tanks, and much more. Get your sand and gravel by the bag, yard, or load. No one beats our prices. Visit us at the corner of Sinclair Road and Eastern Main Road, 5 Rivers, or call 646-2144. Midland Hardware.
Every word, every line, every paragraph depicts a real moment in someone's life. A father, a sister, a mother, a brother. We at Newsday are dedicated to you, the people, and through independent, unwavering journalism, strive to always bring your stories to life, because your stories are more than just words. Newsday, independent and credible.
This season of Lent, get more options from Royal Castle with their 3 tasty meal specials. Meals made with the freshest fish, seasoned with the Castle's appetizing Trini ingredients and cooked to golden perfection. Choose from the fish combo, 2 succulent pieces of fish, 1 side and a 16-ounce soft drink, or the fish sandwich combo of a tender, tasty sandwich, 1 side and a 16-ounce soft drink, or even a flavorful veggie combo option of a sandwich, a side and a 16-ounce soft drink. Get more options from Royal Castle. Our culture, our taste for Lent.
As the world was held hostage, our country stood the time. We are here still. M104.7 FM. We are back, ready to serve you even better than before. Now, it's time for us to boost your business with the most affordable and ready-to-go ad campaigns to suit your company. Whether you're a small entrepreneur, events promoter, restaurant, bar owner, nightclub owner, boat ride promoters, yes, we are speaking to you. Call us now. Give us your budget. M104.7 FM. We will work to make your business a success. Call us at 628-4073, 622-6427, 789-2881, 466-0001. We are ready.
Come to Sheltec for your everyday gaming needs. Get your eShop, PSN, Roblox and Steam cards. Also get the latest PS5, PS4, Xbox and the Switch games. We have everyday specials, 2 for 500 on games for everyone. Shop online at sheltechelectronics.com and get even more discounts. Visit us at 11 to 13 Frederick Street, Capital Plaza, Port of Spain. Come to Sheltec for your everyday gaming needs.
Don't think twice. Super quality will never be beaten on price. Conveniently located at Twin City, Endeavour Road, Chaguanas and Hoover. Experience shopping comfort, wide lanes and secured parking. Your one-stop shop for variety. Great prices, quality service, and yes, weekly special. Super quality, never beaten on price. Contact them 223-9715. Super quality, never beaten on price.
Warren Regis and Company Limited, Sun and Main Road Enterprise, Chaguanas. Services offered are new tire and battery sale. We inspect private and commercial vehicles, mechanical repairs, fleet maintenance, tire alignment, wheel balancing and rotation, nitrogen installation, auto body repair, authorized agency for all major insurance, windshield replacement, wrecking services. We are open Mondays to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. For more information, contact 665-3377. Warren Regis and Company Limited.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We are back, we are back, we are back. Time check, it's 21 minutes past the hour of 8 o'clock. And you're listening to the Ground Report on 104.7 More FM. And you're also listening and viewing the Ground Report on Real Media TT Facebook, Real Media TT YouTube, realmediatt.com. While meanwhile I getting in contact with Mr. Researcher, but have some other things that we have to put in place. Don't forget, because it hurts a lot of people. All roads leads to Edinburgh 500 Recreation Grounds. Saturday, the 16th of April, 1 p.m. Make sure be there. If you're serious about SOS, Save Trinidad and Tobago, it is very important that you be there. So
United platform.
Yes.
United platform.
Hold a minute.
And all mechanisms are in place. Yes.
Nice. So let's hear the opposition leader of Trinidad and Tobago. Cough. Go ahead. Let's hear. Last
week I talked about foster amendments. What is happening with state lands in this country? Last Monday, I raised with you matters involving land grabbing. I had asked several questions in relation to Minister Foster Cummins and a piece of land in exchange Hoover. Foster Cummins, a director and shareholder of a company known as Pical Services Limited. Tonight, I wish to remind you of the questions I asked last Monday. Are there any vehicles belonging to Pical Services Limited parked up on this piece of state land? Is Pical Services Limited owner or tenant of that piece of state land? Who currently occupies and manages the building owned by Caroni 1975 Limited, which is a piece of state land. Does Picard Services Limited have any interest in the land and the building? Again, Foster, do you know anything about this? Now, I received no answers yet. No answers about this. I saw WPC Camille Robinson Regis attempting to give a very feeble response to the questions I asked last Monday. I didn't ask you anything. I think you have some questions for Citizens Bank concerning yourself. Answering questions. What about that $143,800 cash in account number 260-990-2731? About what you were giving misinformation. That's what you should answer. And let Foster answer his own business. We still want to know the truth, Camille, so stop hiding the truth. The TTPS needs. You said you want evidence premise. So I will show you some of the evidence. I want to show you some pictures and some videos of the piece of land there that I'm speaking about at Couva Exchange. Exchange Village, is it? Couva. And I'm told today there's another piece of land we have to ask Foster about, which is at Jerningham Junction. Yes, so team, can you put it up, please? The public is blocked off from seeing inside of the compound. This is the video of that large wall. Can you see it? Are you seeing it?
And for those of you that are looking on to Real Media TT, will be able to see it. Real Media TT Facebook, Real Media TT YouTube, realmediatt.com. You'll be able to see it. But for those who listening on radio, you just have to listen. But we are viewing the wall, the land. Well, if that wall is, if that is state land, where is it saying? Because remember, land in Trinidad and Tobago is not for the poor man. Eh? We have thousands of hectares. They just call it hectares because hectares are land. And the land are not being distributed back to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And unfortunately in Trinidad and Tobago, most of the state lands in this country, for goddamn sake, is being distributed and give out to people that have money to buy land. They have money to handle stories. Why is only rich people continue to get land in this country in a big way, state lands? Let me be real now. When all average citizen of Trinidad and Tobago once in life works hard, minimum wage, everybody fighting up. Some people want to stop rent. Some people want to earn their own home, build their own home. Some people want to achieve having their home. They have a little car. All people, poor people want is just to live a simple life. But in Trinidad and Tobago, nothing is simple when it comes to dealing with poor people. But when it comes to the rich, when it comes to all who already have, compared to who don't have, it is easier to get them 1,100 acres of land, 100 acres, 1,000 acres, 5,000 acres. It's easy to give all who have get state lands and Trinidad and Tobago. What them people is do, they get you with state lands and they go to the bank with their long lease. I know they're not a powder cent, and because of who they are, the bank now get them big loans on the very lands where it's state commercial, state agriculture, just lands that be supposed to be belongs to you, me, I, all of us. Unfortunately, in Trinidad and Tobago at this point in time in AGC, it have a lot of people that registered to get land itself. In AGC, a land settlement agency, it have people that have application to get the lands, and it have who in AGC that organize and have applications up to 200, 300,000 people apply for houses, homes. That is on the very land. If only have no money to build the homes and the houses. why will they organize the same 11 acres and the 1,000 acres and the this and the that only given away to people that have and could buy damn land for themselves? Organize and develop areas, lot them out, give people a full 50 by 100, lot it out, run roads, run the water, the hydrants, develop it, and organize and distribute the lands of Trinidad and Tobago to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, the poor people that cannot face the private sector in order to get land. To face the private sector to get a piece of land, you talking $500,000, $1 million, and all that kind of drama. And the people who have the money to do that, they sue. The politicians continue to give the lands to. And the people who are deserving of the lands of this country, for God's sake, can't get. If you go on your squat, they break it down, they think they're not making nothing easy. Everything that is being made easy in Trinidad and Tobago right now is for the well-to-do. The hardest set of things in this country right now to deal with is to goddamn just deal with the poor people. Represent the poor people, or the people on the whole of Trinidad and Tobago. Balance the playing field. The same political will that Nafisa Mohammed talk about when it comes to bringing back our citizens, 70-something children by 20-something women. And all it takes is a political will. All it takes is a political will for the governments, all governments, or the politicians to organize and oh God, give Trinidad and Tobagonians, citizens, the majority of the people in Trinidad and Tobago is average people. What is due to them, and not continue to give away things to who already have. That's so bad. But meanwhile, let me continue this video there quick. Let's hear what it is the opposition leader of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago is saying, because it's supposed to have a next video. Let's see.
Yes. That's the wall. Then go to video 2 now, inside the compound, behind that wall. Let's look and see what is behind the wall. Tell you faster, you could run on, but you cannot hide. So what we are seeing there in this video, trucks parked up inside that compound. What is that? And the writing on the trucks is Speak Out Services Limited, a company of which Foster was the director. I asked Foster, are these trucks owned by Speak Out Services Limited? I asked Foster, what are these trucks doing parked up in these carrying lands? What are trucks doing there? Is Speak Out Services the owner of that piece of land? And now we have photographs showing the trucks and backhoe on the compound. Let's look at it. Do we have those photographs showing the trucks and backhoe on the compound behind that wall? Okay, I think we have to go back to the one before, perhaps. There we are. Can you see them? The trucks parked up inside the compound there. Are you seeing them? Like you all when you're watching, you can't speak. Look at the backhoe. All parked up in there. I want to turn now to another photograph.
Right, so I want to end this one. Switch my... Wait. Let me see photograph number 7.
What this photograph shows is a black Range Rover PDS 12.
Yes, look, I've seen it.
PDS 12. Black Range Rover PDS 12. Foster, is that your Range Rover? Is that the one you use on Parliament every time we have Parliament? Tell us, is that your vehicle, and why is it parked up behind that wall on that compound? Tell us why. Do you own the land? Are you a tenant of that land? These are state lands. What were you doing parked up on that compound? What's the vehicle doing there? What is it doing on that compound? Tonight I call again for answers on what business does Speaker Services and Foster Cummins have with that piece of land belonging to Caroni at Exchange in Kufa.
So much
Corruption.
Thanks so much.
Give us the answers. Don't come tell me my business, because this is my business. This is the people's business.
Thanks so much, Opposition Leader of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. And not only that, I want to just go a little further. In the pictures, alright, if you have a state land and it's currently land which is supposed to be agricultural land or however it go, alright, we get view of inside the property. May seem bygone, body, pumpkin, peas, nothing planting. I seen whereby it's concrete ground, it's containers, so and that is the problem with Trinidad and Tobago. Not only with that, all over Caroni lands are being ripped off, theft away, and the people who gain it is not the ex-Caroni workers, you know. All the big shots on them who have money, for God's sakes. That is anger, my boy. How in God's sakes, man, a government or politicians or people could be organizing and giving away the lands of the people of Trinidad and Tobago to be Caroni lands that we own, or agricultural lands, anything. How it is we only leasing out 100 years, 199 years to rich people, big companies, and the poor people not benefiting from the lands at all. And then when these dirty people and them working with the politicians doing that, they transform the land to commercial. Some of them come for transit, residential. They build damn apartment buildings, and then they charge you rent on we own land. It's wrong. It's wrong. And we have a country that is supposed to have civil society and God-fearing people, and everybody in this country just dumb, while everything is continuing to go to the rich. We are the developer policy where the lands of we own mustn't go to no company or rich people. This kind of bacchanal. And if it go to somebody, like for instance, the 1100 acres in Aripo that General Earth Movers them get, it was supposed to be for what? Sheep, to mine sheep, to do this, to do that, agriculture. Go check for 1100 acres of land what is being produced for the people of Trinidad and Tobago, in which they get the lease for. Only a set of smart man is, smart woman is, smart people is. Everybody is smart. The thief to rob within the law, but nobody is smart to get the strategies, the ideas, and the political will to do what is right for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. With that, so long as they do what is right, every single citizen go benefit by. When it go stop? When the advantage to poor people go stop? When it go stop? That they will stop giving out, just giving away everything to all the people that already have. When? Will it ever? God help we in this country. Researcher, let me get this. Lennox Smith, I don't know if you had to add anything to that, boy, but it just...
of course, because it lies into a greater and deeper issue. The whole question of what is happening with the supply chain, and of course food imports, substitute and utilizing lands for that purpose. But again, it demonstrates a group of individuals at the level of our government or our cabinet. It is already despicable that 200 times members of the cabinet will recuse themselves for issues of conflict of interest. And here it is, what you have is a bunch of gangsters, a mafia syndicate, if you want to call it that, a very clearly criminal enterprise called the PNM, that of course is being managed by a prime minister that clearly is absolutely reckless and will throw a blind eye to those kinds of things simply because he is part and parcel of all of it. We are seeing in the case of the construction of Balize House, for example. Do you know, people, that the northern piece of the Tranquility Government School was commandeered by the PNM in order to construct that gangster edifice that is now being constructed there, a multi-story, multi-million steel structure. And of course, according to Rowley, this fella Hines could well sell raffle. He sell raffle to 10 million, but that looking like is much more than $10 million. Where that money is coming from to construct that monstrosity? And we must question these things, because at the end of it all, our children and our children's children, if they don't have any kind of a foundation from which to launch their own careers, because of the profligacy, waste, and clear corruption that seem to be very pervasive in this administration, we are going to be facing some serious problems down the road, crime notwithstanding. Understand, those are the issues that must be considered for a fellow like me. Food security. When you take the lands and do that, what about food security? What about the whole question of accounting for the educational entity where that piece of land was taken to construct a building for the PNM? And then of course we have a situation as well where the police and institutions are being infiltrated so as to protect them. And the only consequence or the only salvation for Trinidad and Tobago is not only pushback number 4 and what it represents, but also we must take a collective decision to say enough is enough, and Rowley must now call an election right now, one, and at the same time he and the PNM must not face government anytime soon, if at all. That is where we are, and it is too much of that kind of mafiaism, that kind of in your face, and of course people believing that they are above the law, and therefore the rule of law does not obtain to those members of this government, which is a fallacy. They must tell me, if William left Trinidad and Tobago for them, they must tell us in the first instance how and when and who gave Trinidad and Tobago to Eric Williams.
But before I continue on that,
he's a damn thief, and therefore they are basing their presence on a false premise. That's all.
So truth.
Right, Andy.
Go ahead, researcher. A pleasant good morning to you.
Oh, researcher, my apology, my friend. Go ahead.
Yes.
Morning, Talano. Morning, Mikey out there, everybody out there. Morning.
The researcher, for God's sake, I just want to know why it is government come, government go, however it go, politicians, however it go, acres or hectares of lands could be given out to people that already have. These same people will use it, get either commercial, get registered under commercial or residential or whatever. Use we lands now to put up building structures that we have to pay, whether it be a mall going in it or this going in it, and we have to pay. And at the end of the day, it is so hard for an average person to just get one lot of land to build a home. We own land. It's problems. What says that?
And quickly, researcher, it reminds me of what transpired in Greenville. You have Rahel, you have Dr. Rowley, you have his wife involved, and at the end of it all, it turned out to be a lake bed, and of course the entire housing establishment was of course inundated and up to the roof with water. We have those kinds of situations developing, most despicable and unacceptable.
And not only that, let me give them a perfect example. What was Caroni Lands? Anybody ever go to San Fernando after the turn the tech school now to University of Trinidad and Tobago? It used to be the bumpy road before the highway extended. On the left hand side before you reach the roundabout, and only see that big mall, it has Toyota in there, it has Starbucks, it has all these various things inside. Where's called that mall there? Where's called that big place there on the left hand side again, Lennox? It's not theater there. South Park Mall. South Park Mall is the land that belongs to Caroni again, the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Look at that mall. Going up there, look at that piece of land. The Royal family them end up with that.
The same people, one set of people all the time. And where we like to deflect attention from blue lights and silver bracelets. Then go ahead.
Silver bracelet in the tail boy Lennox Smith. Yeah, that same mall. Watch at it, Trinidad and Tobago. Just now, watch at it, that's Trinidad and Tobago. Watch at it. That mall, let's see how it looking. Watch it, whoever own the land, they get Toyota to have a spot, Toyota paying them. It have a whole different malls, different, if you see, businesses. All those businesses are paying for Caroni Land, paying to rent those booths. There. Look at money. How much you pay for that land? Boy, go ahead, boy. Go. That robbery, that illegal robbery, you know.
The exploitation of
resources. You walking there, my blood boiling now, boy. Just thinking about this.
Go ahead,
thinking how people have had a line up for years. And like you're begging, the CEO want to see you. They want to hear they're busy. Make an appointment. We have no time with all you. And you want so much houses. What you all in the back behind the Lions Gate all day. Houses. A big apartment building built since the camp days, boy. The last election coming up, Rowley set up million capital, start to paint out this, that. As election done, boy. I ain't lying on the man, boy. Careful, rack up and everybody just disappear, boy. And you see one man chipping. Nobody living anything on them. All in the back in cashew, all over is the same thing. These places overrun with moss and all kind of thing. Bring a contractor, game a Mama Guy contract. Mama Guy the people, we giving out house, we giving out this election coming. No government coming just how they go play, they giving out a batch again. Why we must be begging these people for we thing, boy? You see the people understanding Andy, boy. Andy, they understanding, boy. They understanding it's really money, boy. This has nothing to do with it, Rowley, boy. Rowley have nothing there. Rowley had a study, big apartment complex, them what you have going up in Mason Hall. They want you had a study and leave me alone. You come in here in 2016, in 2015, hot and sweaty. 2016, you want him, but you is the head of the cabinet. You keep Christopher Rowley. Or they go on and bring legislation in the first media review to say, hey, we exempt. You understand? People who build in multi-family dwellings exempt. But I challenge the media. You waste that time, media. I call it all that. Or I don't go find all that talent to be got today. Go up in Raleigh, Kwaku Boulevard and drive down and check out Keith Rowley. 5 apartment building that he now building. A palace on a hill. But he made sure I put 5 meters outside. Me asking you. And the other footage. You understand what I'm telling you? I'm fed up with. I'm fed up. Enough is enough for these men, boy. They have to leave, boy. They have to go. They have to go. We're not taking this thing no longer. Last night we heard the opposition leader explaining. Imagine you asking Parliament, what are the fees that these lawyers getting from September 2015 to now, Andy Williams? Faris Alwari with the bold-faced self. Right to each watch that the opposition asks every single ministry, the office of the Prime Minister, everything. How much legal fees them lawyers and them working for? Disrespectful Alwari say, hey, here what going on? We answer. I put it in my words. We are answering that. I had to go and talk to the lawyers and them, and I go find out if them want a business out there. And then I go think that we had a jam they tell in the courtroom. You see how Ravi Balgobin Maharaj and them get? You see how they get with what going on with the RHS and them? 37 million. So when PLM people say that my party, my foot, study how these men robbing you. Let the people know something here today, Andy Williams. Last night the opposition leader was saying they were digging and they were trying to find out. They saw some attorney and why it bothered them, because this is the man who headed the pack. This is the man got the most briefs. This is the man collect nearly $9 million cold hard cash. That is the man. His name is Mr. Charles Law. And the opposition leader said she was perturbed because they can't find that money man. And they put it up on the screen there for the man.
Where is that I put up there now? Which one?
Put it up. Charles Law. Charles Law. Anything when you see what that deed.
The phantom, yeah.
Put it on the screen.
Yes.
Anything with that deed.
Yes.
Anything looking like that.
Yes. I seen Charles Law. Yeah.
Thank you. That is Forest Manor business. Who was seeing out all the trust deed and all them things. You see the address below Charles Law name? 45A 45C St. Vincent Street.
Yeah.
That is Faris Alwari's office. Now run by his wife, Mona Lulu Nahus. I ain't know if she total Alwari behind the name. That is them. This Charles Law is an employee of Faris, or was an employee of Faris Alwari. This was the man that registered all the men deeds. This deed on the screen here right now is a deed. What's the date that he stamp on top?
Let me see the date of the stamp. Like where you do this now?
2006. You carry that deed and register it at legal affairs. But what's the date that Vishal Pratap Singh signed this deed? On the 13th of January 2004. And you Alwari and all them playing all them pushing things to come and harass poor people. Transfer this cano, do this no. We go squeeze all them, we go jam all them. You buy a property from a man 2 years and counting, past 2 years, and then you go on, brother. Vishal Pratap Singh get permission from Land and Surveys. I want to tell you, Ethan, me know, Andy. Land and Surveys, they have a paper there with Land and Surveys.
Look for the paper, Land and Surveys.
December 2003. This Faris Alwari, they don't get the approval for that apartment to come into his name. There's a deed that expiring quite in the year 2078. For all them towers, all you know, see Bonnie and Arawak and them behind Westmall. Only the government land these 1%ers use, boy. Why people don't wake up, boy? Your party don't like you, boy. Your party coming to wood you with property tax. Your party ain't care what the landlord tell you your rent going up. We don't catch in retail to pay you in the landlord 3 months. Understand what's going on here, Andy? Or just stop this stupidness, boy. The opposition leader raised the issue last night. Who the Francis Charles Law? Charles Law is a worry man of business. Charles Law is the man. Look at here. In your face. Imagine. Watch this. In witness whereof Vishal, they make a mistake in the deed.
Yes, in witness. Yeah, go ahead.
In witness whereof Vishal Pratap. It's supposed to be Pratap. Vishal Pratap Singh. Big mistake in the deed. All is sleeping in legal affairs. Pratap Singh signed this document since the 13th of January 2004. He set his hand there. Faris come, watch what Charles Law had to initially. He had to scratch him up before. Because Faris was supposed to see that since 2004.
Yes, we seen before scratch off. And the put a 6.
The man leader in a draw like how Gita Saka leave $5 million check in a draw. That small thing. I don't want to do nothing. I don't have no respect for them there. And you come and put this man as the Attorney General. You come and put this man to to tell you how they want to make trust deed and thing private. You understand? When this man had the same Charles Law making up deed of trust for he and Mona. Boy, fire burn all you, boy. Or let's stop harassing poor people, boy. The Lord Jesus go deal with all you, boy. Look, the opposition leader come and talk, same Kewal Singh. That is our next one of Forest body.
Kewal Singh.
That is the man who buying Porsche. I'm telling you, about 2 Porsche already, a black and a brown. Kewal Singh is the brown. Forest lie. Forest lie in the parliament. And then he come and say that we lying on him. Forest and Al-Wari lied and misled the parliament from a 2016 Porsche Cayenne sale that he conducted and properly transferred. He lied and relayed the information to the public as if that was reflective of what went on with Roger Kewal Singh. We not going through that.
Yeah, but I seen something here. I seen something here. Mark Wassa, chairman and attorney, Reginald, 32 cases. Where is that one? 4 million. Yeah.
That is the same Ravindra Ravinanga who come and threatening people and I go thing an illegal connection and I go deal with all that. He's the one who was talking last week in the Joint Select Committee. He's the one who was bumping up his gum. You understand? Watch how much
it's an ancestral relationship.
So this man here is a arm of the state apparently, or this man here talking, he had to go there with a playbook. Somebody had to write a script and give he to go and talk or ask you a question.
We are also seen former Police Service Commissioner member attorney Roger Kewal Singh landed 39 cases and he earned more than $3.6 million.
Thank you very much.
So that is Forest people again.
And one of the Prime Minister attorney too, one Justin Phelps. We have the next Prime Minister attorney, Michael Kwamena.
How much Michael Kwamena? The party by Petrotrin to hide the documents. Yeah.
Watch that.
How much he make?
Is the head of Petrotrin. When I hear about this so-called Single Point Land Management Authority and Keith Smartman, Philly Smart, Rowley, come in to tell we I want to deal with corruption, so here I go in and do it. Stupid people go in and believe that. People who calling themselves analysts, well, what the Prime Minister is doing, it maybe bear some fruit. And rock so with our whole talk. You understand? You go in and consolidate everything under one umbrella. That is the breeding ground for corruption. No transparency, no accountability. And come in and put until we know you bringing back Clarence. You bringing Clarence to spearhead the operation. When we seeing all kind of questionable activity taking place with people in your own government, people in your own party, Foster Cummins, understand what I'm saying? We not going through this, Andy Williams. We are not going through this.
Yeah, but before you go, what do the people of Trinidad and Tobago want to do in order for we to be able to get we own land, at least a lot of land, everybody, so we don't have to squat, we don't have to do nothing illegal. What to do? How we gonna get land? Everybody is getting land easy, all the big shots getting it easy. What we could do to get land?
Well, that is a very good question, and I am stooped. I don't know what to do, just like you, Andy, because I just don't understand it myself. I am bewildered. I am lost, just as you, Andy Williams. I do not know what to do. I don't know where to direct anybody. Oh, you had to beg them. You had to think, money thing. You had to go detour and try to buy a little one shirt and a little presentable looking pants and go down by the office and then tell them, nah, you had to come back here there. Nah, you had to come back. Nah, they ain't see nobody today. Nah, they in a meeting. Nah, come back next 3 weeks. Nah, go online and make an appointment. What you going and do? So the only how I could get land, I had to join you. How I join in the 1%? Enough is enough.
Let the people know where all roads lead to and must, because in order for all this to done.
Lead to Edinburgh 500, Saturday, April is 16, 1 p.m. Andy, we cannot go through this. Enough is enough, boy. This thing does hurt, boy. I hear you saying this thing now, Andy Williams. And that thing grinding me no boy. When I think about how TSTT disrespectful in the court now, you see the same thing we talking about last week Friday? While we talking that here TSTT was getting organized for a case in the courthouse in the appeal court. You understand? Them telling 3 appeal court judge that the government don't have no control over them, but you hear what I'm telling you? Now they need to know what they're saying and what they're doing, because although the government don't have more shares, remember what I tell all you? We do the mathematics, and you're seeing they could swing it, they could dance it, they could do what you want. Cable and wireless have 49% shareholding, and that will trump what the government has as the government. But jump high, jump low. NEL, which is National Enterprises Limited, is majority owned and controlled by the government. And NEL, since 2015 March, you see, them judges better don't rule now, because we gonna make sure it reach in the Privy Council. I telling all that. That judgment all they reserve. All they better listen to what we saying today here on the Gong Report and rule accordingly, because we go come. I telling all that. Book it. Because here what's going on, through the National Enterprises as a body, as a company that is publicly traded, and a company that is controlled largely by the government. The government appointed the chairman of NEL, the same Ingrid Lashley who name always calling. The government, through Ingrid Lashley, appointed and what the word I should use, she is instrumental also being on TSTT's board for Miss Lisa Agard being at the helm of TSTT in clear breach of what was stipulated by that. I hope Douglas and them listening. So at the end of the day, although the government, as through the Minister of Finance, through the corporation sole, we have less shareholding than Cable and Wireless, the government still has the ultimate say, because in March 2015, Cable and Wireless, through Columbus Communications, would have submitted information saying they agree that they have to get rid of their shares. Since 2016, I pulled back up a report Terence Farrell was running the dance them days for Rowley, where he suggested, the government supposed to get rid of their shares in TSTT. But all them rock so boy, I tell all of them TSTT workers ain't going nowhere. Michael Leachin, I just call your name when I am a file to no brother. I call in your name. Michael Leachin, through your connected chain of companies that you just boast about when you were selling the Columbus shares to Cable and Wireless, you tell a reporter, I have it, don't delete it, don't waste all your time, you mustn't waste time. You tell the reporter, well, I go see what's going on, I don't know if I will get involved in the newly merged company, which will have been Cable and Wireless. And then the gentleman has ownership via through loan or equity. I don't have it already. I ain't go bust the mark on your mic.
So hold on that, because again, we will be continuing and up to that big day, April the 16th, Saturday, April the 16th, 1 p.m. Edinburgh 500 Recreation Grounds. We have more to bust tomorrow. We have more to bust the next day, and we're going at it because it's all about SOS, Save Trinidad and Tobago, the united platform. All hands need to be on deck. All hands need to be on deck, right? So researcher, thanks so much. It's 2 minutes past the hour of 9 o'clock. Robert Amaro is already in studio. Oh boy, my friend. Trinidad and Tobago. Only in the Gong Report, 104.7 More FM. Don't forget tonight, Corridor Transformation on Facebook. Yours truly, Lennox Smith. I know he going into all the detail with how dirty Chief Kunumunu King Kakahole is, which is the Honorable Prime Minister.
Mafia Enterprise.
Coming up next, Robert Amaro, Ruby Gem, Sensibility on 104.7 More FM. After God, family comes first. Be safe on the roads. Until tomorrow morning, please God, we are out of here.
Disclaimer. More FM Limited, its owners and associates, accepts no responsibility for statements made by the talk show hosts or their guests. More FM Limited does not endorse any of the information provided during this commercially booked segment as the truth. That you have to judge for yourself. We, however, reserve the right to question statements made. But in this time of misinformation, government-controlled media and corruption, it is sometimes hard to get the truth, but we must try. It is not our intention to discriminate or annoy anyone. We believe it is our constitutional right to free speech, to voice our opinion, and our duty to the population and country to expose the truth. More FM Limited takes no responsibility for the opinions of others.